Welcome to your one-stop shop for picking the optimal FPL captain every game week. First of all, I apologise if my voice sounds a bit off. I have got a sore throat, so I'll try and make it quick. Let's get straight into it and take a look at the shortlist. First up yet again is the man in form Mo Salah against West Ham away. His first challenge of this game week is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang against Watford at the Emirates. And the other one is Kai Havertz against Burnley at Stamford Bridge. This is another classic form versus fixture. A couple of things worth highlighting is the fact that Salah's a midfielder, so he gets an extra point for a goal, plus the clean sheet point potential as well, and Auba's got the home advantage. Then you've got Havertz, who benefits from both. This week's honourable mention goes out to Tony from Brentford. He doesn't quite compete with the three players on the shortlist on the metrics you're about to see. Firstly, we've got the stats from this and last season combined. Salah completely obliterates the other two players on the shortlist. Not only are his expected numbers more promising, he's by far the most clinical player on the shortlist. In fact, he's more than doubled Aubameyang's non-penalty return points per 90 minutes. Moving on to the set pieces, both Salah and Auba are on penalty duties for their respective clubs. As for Havertz, it depends who's on the pitch for Chelsea. The same applies to the free kicks as well. I don't expect any of the three players on the shortlist to go taking indirect free kicks or corners. Even with the direct free kicks, they'll probably take one occasionally, but not often. I'd call this section a draw between the two red men. However, I would keep an eye on the Chelsea team news just in case Havertz does have that penalty appeal. Let's take a look at the probability of each player scoring or assisting. The anytime goal scorer odds are quite interesting. Even with Salah's record, Aubameyang is actually more likely to score than Salah, and he's ahead of Havertz by 11%. The German is in the mix for the anytime assist odds, but it's not enough to compensate. Salah's got the best chance of setting up a goal. However, this metric has fine margins as usual. The anytime return odds imply that each player in isolation probably will register an attack in return. Salah and Aubameyang are actually more likely to score than blank as well. Impressively, Auba's only got a 4% less chance of scoring than Havertz has of returning overall. He's a bookmaker's favourite with a combined odds of 66%. His odds are weighted heavily on goals, which swings in his favour as well. Despite this adding to his case, there is a major drawback from the FPL scoring system that I touched upon earlier. The other two players get an extra 25% of the points that he gets for a goal. Therefore, Salah is actually the winner of this section. That also means that there's barely anything between second and third place either. The points projections are another strong point for the Liverpool talisman. He takes a lead on Fantasy Football Fix with 0.6. Although his Fantasy Football Scout figure is slightly lower, he still leads by 0.7. By comparing the opposition's defence, we can see why the other two players made it onto the shortlist. They've both got favourable fixtures whilst Salah hasn't. Plus, it's even better than what meets the eye. Having the home advantage makes the fixtures even easier than the stats suggest. Salah's fixture is actually more difficult than the stats suggest as well because he's playing away from home. All things considered, West Ham are only 1% more likely to obtain a clean sheet than the other two teams. Up until this point, it's clear to see that the form does outweigh the fixtures, and that's coming from me. I say that because I tend to favour the fixture more. Before we make a decision, let's carry out a quick risk assessment. Auba's had double the time to prepare for his match. The other two players played in the Champions League midweek for 90 minutes, but that's not enough to put me off. Salah's the most nailed player with 87 expected minutes. This is easy. Best captain for game week 11 is Mo Salah. Once again, I apologise for my voice being off, it's because I'm ill. The next deadline is in a couple of weeks, so hopefully I've recovered by then. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you here again for game week 12.